2003 has been a year of ebb and flow for Tommy Bowden and his Clemson Tigers, but with playmakers like sophomore quarterback Charlie Whitehurst and junior wideout Derek Hamilton, the best may be yet to come. For Duke, it's been a year of transition. Gone is Carl Franks, in is Ted Roof, and a new attitude. It's the Blue Devils and the Tigers, and it's up next here on CSS. And hi, everybody, and welcome into Clemson's Memorial Stadium. Don Munson along with former Clemson linebacker Chad Carson. And Chad, you know a little thing about defense, but we want to talk offense to start this thing off. First of all, for the Clemson Tigers, a couple of record setters that we need to talk about, a field goal kicker and a wide receiver.
Yeah, amazingly enough, it happened in one game last week against FSU. Aaron Hunt broke the all-time scoring record at Clemson. And Derek Hamilton broke the all-purpose yardage from scrimmage record at Clemson, which are both huge records.
Both of these guys obviously very potent offensive weapons for Coach Tommy Bowden. Now for the Duke Blue Devils, a change, of course, midseason for them in the coaching ranks. And it's now Ted Roof heading up this program, and he's gone to more of a running game.
Yeah, they have the leading rusher in the ACC, Chris Douglas, and he's just pounding away. The offensive line's coming off the ball, and they're going to be tough to stop it.
Douglas with 218 yards rushing last week in a victory over Georgia Tech. Of course, when you think offense for Clemson, you think of that man right there, Charlie Whitehurst. He is the man offensively for the Tigers.
Charlie's really matured this year, and he's turned into a championship caliber quarterback. He made some big plays last week against FSU, and it'll take that to be a good winner today and beat the Duke Blue Devils. 420 yards or passing last year against the Duke Blue Devils. Tommy Bowden would love to see that kind of effort once again by his sophomore quarterback in today's ball game. We'll come back with all the action between the Blue Devils and the Tigers, and we'll do that after this. College football on CSS is brought to you by Subaru, driven by what's inside, and by Subaru of Gwinnett.com. Good look at the crowd that has gathered here at Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina, getting set for the opening kickoff here between Clemson and Duke. And Chad, it'll be interesting to see exactly how this guy, Ted Roof, the new head football coach at Duke, will go in his first try here in Death Valley. 1-2 is his overall record so far in the 3 games that he has coached the Blue Devils. I'll tell you one thing that we have found out this week is that he's got his players behind him. He really does. It's obvious on film that his players are playing behind him. They're playing with emotion, and they're playing with a fire that Duke hasn't had in a long time, and it starts with the head coach.
You can see by that little pump fist there on the sideline. Tommy Bowden now in his 5th season here at Clemson. There you see his overall record, 35-24. Nothing like a big win over Florida State to get the fan base and everybody believing in you.
I'll tell you what, I know Coach Bowden pretty well, being a captain for the football team, and there was nothing he wanted more than to beat his old man, and he did it. I know he was a happy man all week long.
Well, this place, both you and I were here last week for the Florida State game. It was alive and it was electric, and we're looking for that similar type of atmosphere here in the Valley this afternoon. The Tigers will kick it off, so that means that Duke will receive as we get set for action. Here's your series record. The Tigers leading this overall series 31-15-1. And of course have a sizable margin, as you can see here at Death Valley. Last year was a classic between these two, with the Tigers winning it by 3. Kickoff will sail well back into the end zone. Touchback. And here are your starting lineups, brought to you by Subaru. As you take a look at the offensive line there, the Bayer, the guy at center, the real architect and the real guy that controls the line of scrimmage for the Blue Devils. And there you see the skill positions. And Chris Douglas, the main guy on the ground for the Blue Devils. Mike Schneider will get the start here at quarterback, and you see his numbers on the year. So 1st and 10 Blue Devils at their own 20-yard line, the first play of the game here between Clemson and Duke. And it will be a throwing play. Under pressure, though, Schneider will now run it. Leroy Hill will grab him But Schneider will still get forward for a pickup of about 3. But Chad gave credit to the defensive secondary there by the Tigers. As we take a look at the defense here for the Tigers, Vaughn, Washington, Polk, and Fountain are the front 4. Leak, Hill, and Sampson are your linebackers for Tommy Bowden. And Hill, Fudge, Pugh, and Miller, and that has been a very good 4 for John Lovett defensively.
Could already see it. That was great coverage on that one. They got a little pressure from the outside, Khalid, Vaughn, and those guys, and made the quarterback run. If we can get him into space and make a tackle in open field, that's good for the Clemson defense.
Already the Tiger fans on their feet. 2nd down and 7, and right away Duke has to call timeout, and they will. So the Blue Devils did not like what they saw defensively by the Tigers, and they burned their first timeout of the half. So 14-17 to go, opening quarter, 0-0 between Clemson and Duke here on CSS. Back here in Death Valley, taking a look there at the Clemson sideline. Let's see what Duke will do after using a timeout after only 1 play in the game. And we will see a little bit of switching up at quarterback. Already we get our 2nd quarterback of the afternoon for the Blue Devils, and Dapolito. And there you see his numbers on the year, but there'll be a little bit of switching back and forth there at quarterback for Ted Roof and the Blue Devils this afternoon. So 2nd down and 7. Blue Devils at their own 23. Tigers showing a 4-man front. Handoff, running room, bouncing it outside and across the 30-yard line, and enough for the first down goes Chris Douglas. And Douglas, who had 218 last week, more than enough for the first down, a pickup of close to 11.
This is a play you're going to see all day long. They're going to spread you out with the receivers, hand it to Chris Douglas, and just let him take off. And that's what he does best in the open field.
The area of concern there, Chad, for the Tigers defensively is that Douglas was able to get to the corner.
That's right, and use his speed out there. But normally the Clemson Tigers have good speed, and they're not going to let him get around. But that's a tough play. They're going to have to watch all day long.
First down, Duke at their own 34. Dapolito takes a snap, throws, has it complete. Up close to the 40-yard line as Justin Miller comes up and makes the tackle on Reggie Love. And that'll be a pickup of about 6 yards in the play and bring up 2nd down and relatively short, 2nd down and 4.
Justin Miller with a good tackle there, breaking on the ball, and he'll get a lot of action out there to the wide receiver.
Schneider now will come in back at quarterback for the Duke Blue Devils and direct the offensive attack here on 2nd and 4. Wishbone set. Now they'll break the bone, and they'll show double tights. Clemson almost jumped offside. Handoff will once again go to Douglas, and Douglas will gain a couple. Work his way out across the 42, but just shot, well, they'll mark him right down at the 42-yard line. So call it a pickup of 2. 3rd down and 2. Take a look at Douglas. You see his season numbers, and that 957 yards. He is the leading rusher in the ACC.
I'll tell you what, you have to give your offensive line some credit. Those big offensive line, they're going to be coming off on the D-line all day long, especially on 3rd and short like this.
3rd and let's call it 2. Blue Devils at their own 42. Dapolito rolling, looks downfield as a man open, and it's caught at the Clemson 35-yard line, and falling down is Ben Patrick at the Tiger 32.
Right there, they did a little crossing route, and they had the DBs a little confused and just threw it right in there, made a great play. They couldn't tell if he was going to run or he's going to pass there, and he just found a wide open guy.
And John Leak was the man that was supposed to have coverage on Ben Patrick, and Patrick got in behind him, and it's a big gain down to the Tiger 32-yard line. So 1st down and 10 there, Blue Devils. Handoff. And once again, I believe that is Douglas, and nothing doing there as the Tiger defense is there to smell that out as a host of purple jerseys there on the tackle. Watch the replay here, and you can see Douglas looking for room, Chad, and nothing doing there.
That's big Darnell Washington right there, and that's one big man, and it's tough to block him. They're going to have to put 2 guys to try to stop him from on the run all day long.
Haven't talked about the purple jersey, orange pant combination, but we will talk about that when we get an opportunity. It was a loss of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 12 for the Blue Devils. throwing situation, looking downfield and overthrowing the intended receiver, who was Powell, Stapolito. So that'll bring up 3rd and long, and this is an area, Chad, you know this as a former linebacker, where defensively you almost salivate when you get an offense into 3rd and 12.
As a linebacker especially, you love it because you get to pin your ears back. Sometimes you blitz, sometimes you show blitz, but it's a lot of fun. This is where you want to have the offense every single drive.
Mike Schneider comes back in at quarterback for the Blue Devils. 3rd and 12, Duke at the Clemson 34. Tiger fans on their feet, exhorting on the defense. Blitz by the Tigers, and down goes Schneider back at the 41-yard line.
You see Eric Sampson coming in there and on the blitz, and the offensive guard there was in a dilemma and had to choose one. Let's see here on the replay.
Well, you're looking at it right from the quarterback. Coleman, actually, the first guy that got there.
Big Eric Coleman on the sack, and he's been a great D lineman this year, and that guard had to choose one and didn't choose either of them.
Loss of 9 on the play. And that also brings on the punt team for the Blue Devils. Justin Miller stands back around his own 10-yard line, and this kick will sail into the end zone, touchback, and the ball will come out to the 20-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 there for the Clemson Tigers. So the Clemson defense holds on their first series. Let's see what the Tiger offense can do, taking it over at their own 20. Charlie Winers, take a look. He gets a few last-minute instructions from Tommy Bowden, and out he trots onto the field.
It'll be interesting to see what the play calls are. They on the first drive last week against Florida State, they had some brilliant play calls and really had Florida State on their heels. So we'll see what they do this week.
Elliott, Bayham, and Hamilton are the trips at the top side of your screen. And the throw will go to Hamilton. Hamilton, though, will be wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage, and that will be a loss of a yard, maybe 2. Take a look at the starting lineup here for the Tigers offensively. There you see that offensive front of Henry Johnson, Sharp, Bennett, and Walker, although there will be quite a few names we'll see along that offensive front as we work through the day. Coleman, Harrell, Elliott, Youngblood, and Williamson are your featured skill players, and of course Charlie Winehurst at quarterback for the Tigers. As Winehurst will check up under center on 2nd down, and let's call it 12. Back at the Tiger 18-yard line. Winehurst brings Chancey Stuckey into motion, but will hand it off up the gut, straight up the middle, and I believe that was Chad Jasmine. And Jasmine will wiggle his way out to about the 21. Defensively for the Blue Devils, as you take a look at what they have along the front 4, Thompson and Alexander, both very good players. And there you see the linebackers and the defensive secondary.
Number 25, Terrell Smith's the leading tackler for the Blue Devils. Look for him all day. He's all over the field.
3rd and long Tigers, 3rd and 9 at their own 21. Winers out of the shotgun. Pumps it, they set up the screen to Coleman. Coleman across the 25-30, first down and then some. Out across the 35, bouncing off tacklers and working his way forward to about the 37, maybe the 38-yard line.
That was a great play call and a great execution by the offense. We'll see here. They run a little screen here to the right, fake it left, and just dump it off to Wayne Coleman and let him run behind those big horses up front. And once he gets an open field, he has got some explosion, as you see with the spin move, and you know it's going to be tough to tackle him.
Boy, good to see Dwayne breaking tackles, at least 2 broken tackles on that run, and picking a positive yard after the first hit. First down and 10 Tigers at their own 37. Winers throws and completes it to Kevin Youngblood, and the senior will work his way across the 45 out to about the 46. That'll be about a yard shy of the first down and bring up 2nd and 1.
That's a play you might see a lot today. They've run it a lot lately with just a little 5-yard, 6-yard curl by Kevin Youngblood. Hit him right when he turns around. It's really tough to defend with his height and with his size out there.
2nd down and a yard. Youngblood and Hamilton will split to the top of your screen. Winers now will take a look back over to the Clemson sideline and get the play. Jasmine, the deep back. Cliff Harrell, the up back, and the eye set. Jasmine gets the handoff and plenty of running room across the 50 and tripped up as he gets forward to the Blue Devil 40, well, let's call it 47-yard line.
Don, Chad Jasmine's been the short yardage guy all year long, and if you watch him here, just kind of lowers his shoulder, and he can get those 2 yards if he needs to, or even more on this play.
We talked about Terrell Smith coming up being the big tackler in that for the Duke defensively, and Jasmine able to shake the tackle there and pick up positive yardage. A first down for Clemson, now in Duke territory at the Blue Devil 47-yard line. 8-10 and counting here, first quarter, 0-0 our score. Whitehurst under pressure, steps up in the pocket, looks downfield, still looking, and then will just throw the football away. And that's a good heads-up move by the sophomore quarterback.
It was a gutsy play. He had guys in his face, and he just kind of slipped out of there and threw the ball away, which was very smart.
Haven't talked about this combination of purple jerseys and orange pants. We saw it, of course, in pre-games, a little loud, but this is the first time we've seen this combination.
Yeah, Coach Bowden likes that purple color, and the players really rally around it because it's something different and unique for Clemson, and nobody else in the country has these colors.
I know the fans have been clamoring to see this combination, and you got it today, certainly here at Death Valley. Second down and 10 for the Tigers at the Blue Devil 47-yard line. Whitehurst will bring Hamilton in motion. Looks, little inside screen. They set it up. That's Collins. And Collins will be forward to about the 40-yard line. Michael Collins. Oh, excuse me, that's Kelvin Grant. My bad there. Kelvin Grant on the reception.
It's a little slip screen with a wide receiver, and they have a plethora of receivers. I'll tell you what, a lot of speed, a lot of height in there.
3rd and 3 Tigers as a ball rests just inside the Blue Devil 41-yard line. Tigers need to get just inside the Blue Devil 37 for a first down. Whitehurst takes a snap, throws, has it complete one more time to Grant. He's going to be close, but I don't think that he got there. He needed maybe about another half yard to a yard. He is going to be shy of the first down.
Looks like he might be a little short. We'll see on the replay here. Catches the ball. Kelvin Grant gets hit right away by, there you go, number 25 for the defense. Once again, Terrell Smith on the tackle.
Needed to pick up one more block maybe from Curtis Bayham that was over there by him on the reception, but couldn't get the block. They will bring the chains across, but from our angle, I'm going to say that he's at least a half yard short, maybe a little bit more than that. So it'll be 4th down and decision time for Tommy Bowden. It won't surprise me at all to see Tommy Bowden go for this.
I was about to say the same thing. Coach Bowden is in this area especially, likes to go for it, and I wouldn't be surprised at all either to see him go for it and give it to Chad Jasmine up the middle, or even early in the game like this, take a risk, fake the handoff down the middle, and throw to one wide receiver down the sidelines. That could be very probable in this situation.
Just a little more than the length of the football, shy of the first down. And it looks like the Tigers will stay out there offensively, and we'll try to go for it here on 4th down. 7:05 to go here in your first quarter of play at Clemson's Death Valley. 0-0 your score. Don Munson, Chad Carson along with you, and glad to have you with us here on CSS.
Quite a crowd piling in here today. Some people still filing in, but it's a beautiful day, blue skies, and be plenty of Clemson faithful out here. And some Duke people made the trip down too.
Yeah, the Clemson orange certainly is out and in show. Whitehurst calls his own number and dives for it, and I think that he did get there. It is going to be close, but Whitehurst calling his own number, just followed his right guard. And it all depends upon the spot, but they will bring it. Nope. They are going to measure it. He got it easily.
Looks like they're just doing it as a precautionary measure.
Yeah,
Make sure they're
he
being
got
fair.
it by more than half the length of the football if the chains and the spot are equal. But they will bring out the chain gang and stretch it. And he got it easily. First down for the Tigers. Ball rests just shy of the Blue Devil 36-yard line. So Clemson, who was 41% on 4th down this season, will improve that stat with the 4th down conversion. Whitehurst again has the eyes set behind him with Jasmine the deep back. And single wides to either side. Whitehurst gives it off to Jasmine. Right up the gut goes Chad. Breaking tackles inside the 35 and whacking his way down close to the 31. That's just power running.
He's got some strong legs. I'll tell you what, you hand the ball to him and let him run right into D lineman. He pumps his legs and keeps going. It'll take 2 or 3 guys to bring him down. And he doesn't look that big, but he's just got some kind of strength and squat strength in those legs and just keeps them pumping.
Picked up 5. You see his season numbers there. Averaging almost 4 yards per carry is Chad. He picked up 5 on that play. 2nd down and 5 Tigers. Blue Devil 31. Whitehurst in shotgun. Fakes the handoff, throws, has a complete. Hamilton across the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Tigers.
Derek Hamilton just did a little slant route. I think they were in man coverage, and it's tough. When he gets in the open field, one man is not going to bring him down. He's too quick, and he's elusive. You'll see it here on the replay.
Well, watch this, Chad. When he catches the football and turns and realizes there's no one between he and the goal line, he turns on the jets.
This guy's got some kind of speed, and they call him Noodle sometimes because this guy is just, there's nothing to grab onto. As you saw, number 17 came up to try to make the tackle.
So the 31-yard touchdown pass from Whitehurst to Hamilton gets the Tigers on the board. Here's the extra point by Hunt, and it is up, and it is good. 5:57 to go here in the first quarter of play. The Tigers draw first blood. They lead the Blue Devils 7-0 here on CSS. Former Clemson Tiger Woody Dantzler, the first NCAA Division I quarterback to rush and pass for 1,000 yards in a single season, joins Matt Stewart live on Sports Unlimited tomorrow night. Don't miss Woody Dantzler live on Sports Unlimited tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern only on CSS. Scoring drive here by the Tigers, 11 plays, 80 yards, and as you see, they take almost 5 minutes off the clock. The big play being that 4th down conversion to Charlie Whitehurst, and then a couple of plays later, Derek Hamilton in the end zone. Dean will tee it up at the 35-yard line and put foot to leather. And it's a kick that'll go about a yard back into the end zone. Crossing the 15, fumble the football and recovered it. Have the Tigers at the 25-yard line.
Looks like David Dunham on that play on the recovery.
Actually, I think it's number 39. It's Buddy Williams that came up with a recovery. But we'll double check it. We'll see whose eyes are better here, my friend. But there you see the hit. And Steven Jackson was the guy that made it hit. And yes, it was Williams that came up with the recovery for the Tigers. So they have it at the 25-yard line. First down and 10 at the Blue Devil 25.
This is a game of turnovers, and the Tigers have done a great job this year in turnover. They're top 15 in the country of not giving it away. So Duke made a big mistake right there, and let's see if they can capitalize on it.
Handoff. They'll pitch it. Whitehurst to Hamilton. Touchdown, Derek Hamilton. Wow.
What a play. I tell you what, he's pulling plays out from everywhere this week.
Well, they faked me. I thought they had given it to Jasmine, but instead they run the little pitch on the left corner.
This is a little shotgun option, and Charlie Whitehurst just takes off to the left and is going to pitch it to Derek Hamilton right when the defensive guy comes up, and it's just off to the races from there. Open field all the way.
So the Tigers with 2 quick strikes lead it 13-0. And Aaron Hunt trying to make it a 14-point lead. And the kick is up, and it is good. So the Tigers, back-to-back touchdowns, lead it now 14-0 with 5:43 to go first quarter. Back with more here on CSS. If you can't get enough college football on the weekend, catch college football encore games all week on CSS. Check out your favorite ACC and SEC teams and preview the competition only on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Well, Chad, Derek Hamilton has touched the ball here twice in the last, minute. One has gone for 31 and another one has gone for 25. You see the scoring drive there, just one play and 7 seconds off the clock.
Tell you what, he's what you call a playmaker, and it's the guys in the NFL that make plays all day long. And I think one of these days, maybe sometime here soon, we'll see, he'll be there.
Well, Derek Justa Jr., he has talked this week about the possibility of leaving Clemson early and going to the professional ranks. Tiger faithful would not like to see that. They would like to see this young man back for his senior season. The kickoff by Dean will go about 3 yards deep into the end zone. It'll be taken there by Centerio Landrum, and Landrum will go to a knee and bring the ball out to the 20-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 there, Duke. One key here, Chad, I want to talk about. Clemson getting out and on top of this Duke team early. They have done that because this is a team, Duke, You figure the longer you let them stay in a game, the more they believe they can win.
They really do. They've won some big games this year, and they've stayed with some teams like Tennessee all the way to the fourth quarter. And the longer you let them stay in it, this is a team that's on the up and up. And you gotta, if you're Clemson, you want to go ahead and put it to them.
First down and 10, Blue Devils at their own 20. Handoff comes on the man that was in motion, and that's Landrum. And Landrum, well played by the Clemson defense, will pick up 3 as Justin Miller forces him out of bounds at the 23.
That's the speed of the Clemson defense. It's going to be tough to run side to side on them. The best way to attack a team that has that kind of speed from the linebackers and DBs is right up the middle. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of running attack Duke will bring at them.
Second down and 7, Blue Devils at their own 23-yard line. Schneider in there at quarterback now for the Blue Devils, and he's in shotgun. Looks like he's going to change the play. Wanting to throw, looks downfield, wanting Reggie Love. Does Miller have it for the interception? Yes, he does. Justin Miller.
That was an incredible play. The Duke wide receiver, number 84, had the ball, and Justin Miller just took it from him on the way down.
Well, watch this as we'll see it on the replay. Justin Miller with his second pick of the season. They throw it up there. They think that Reggie Love, the big guy, has the advantage over Miller, but no. Miller had the inside position, went up and just grabbed it one-handed, Chad.
Yeah, I mean, that's a strong DB when you can take it from number 84, Reggie Love, who's a great senior, is a go-to guy, and he just took the ball from him right on the way down.
First down and 10, Tigers at the Blue Devil 38-yard line. Whitehurst with Jasmine behind him. Takes out, wants to throw, has it complete. That's Chancey Stuckey, the backup quarterback. Stuckey working his way across field, trying to pick up blocks. Will cross the 35, takes a big shot at the 34-yard line. But Chancey Stuckey, the young redshirt freshman, the backup quarterback, making a little bit of a buzz in the Clemson crowd.
Yeah, watch the hit at the end of this play. That was a great run by Chancey, but man, he just took a licking at the end of this play. He's getting initiated to college football right there as a wide receiver. Oh. Number 13 just hits him under the chin.
Giuseppe Guano came over and just put a big shot on Stuckey, but Stuckey able to hang on to the football. It's a pickup of 4. Second down and 6, Tigers at the Blue Devil 34. Winers, Jasmine up the gut, across the 30 and close to first down yardage. As he got inside, it looks like the 28-yard line. He'll mark him at the 27. That will be enough for the first down.
For Duke to stay in this game and get back into it, they're going to have to stop the run, because Clemson now, they're up 14. They're just going to try to pound it on them every once in a while and throw a big pass after that. But those front 7 need to stop the run in order to get back into it and give their offense a chance.
First and 10, Tigers, Blue Devil 27-yard line. Whitehurst looks to the Clemson sideline to get the play. Jasmine, the lone setback. Whitehurst so far in the afternoon, Chad, 7 of 8 for 94 yards. Make that 9 of 10 as he has it complete to Youngblood, and Youngblood almost broke that into the end zone. It's enough for the first down, though, as they'll mark the ball just shy of the 15.
I don't envy the Duke defensive coordinator having all these wide receivers. I mean, there's weapons left and right. Youngblood is a go-to guy, and you just give him the ball with one guy, he's going to be tough to bring down, too.
You can just tell that confidence has carried over with this Clemson ball club from last week in the game against Florida State as you take a look at Youngblood's numbers on the year. Kevin, of course, playing his last game here at Clemson in a Tiger uniform. Whitehurst, first and 10, gives it to Jasmine up the gut, and Chad will spin inside the 15-yard line to about the 14, maybe the 13. It'll be a short pickup on the play. Call it a yard and bring up second down and 9 at the Blue Devil 14.
This is the part of the field where an offensive coordinator loves to be, because your playbook is wide open. You can run it, you can pass it, and the defense is on their heels. So we'll see if Duke can step up and make a big stop and hold them to a field goal. That'd be a victory for them here.
Kelvin Grant and Derek Hamilton go to the top of your screen. Tony Elliott is just outside of the bottom of your screen. And Jasmine, the lone setback behind Whitehurst on second and 9. Up the gut with Jasmine, and Jasmine inside the 10, barreling his way forward close to the 8-yard line. Good pickup on the play. About 6. It'll bring up third and about 3.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him get back to Youngblood on this play, or throw it outside to get him into space. Maybe fake a play action pass.
Well, Grant and Elliott are the two wide receivers that are in there. And they will go wide left or to the top of your screen. An eye set behind Whitehurst as again he'll look to the Clemson sideline and get the play. Harold the up back. Jasmine the deep back in the eye set. And the handoff will go to Jasmine. He eludes the first pressure and then is wrapped up for a loss just inside the 10-yard line. And I would believe this means that Aaron Hunt will come on and attempt a field goal, and indeed he will. So give credit to that Duke defense. They make a stand when they have to and hold the Tigers out of the end zone. And now they're hoping that they can either block a kick or that Aaron Hunt will miss it. It'll be a field goal attempt of, let's call it, 27 yards as they'll put it down at the 17. Out of the hold of Casey. Hunt's kick is up and it is no good. Off to the right, and so the Duke Blue Devil defense gets exactly what they were hoping for.
Tell you what, that snap looked a little high on that play. It took him a while to get it down. I think it threw Aaron's rhythm off a little bit, and as you can see, he was sitting there talking to Coach Bowden.
Well, we'll watch the replay here. We pick it up just a little bit late, but Aaron just pushed it just a little bit to the right side, and that's the first missed field goal for Aaron. What, in the last 10 attempts?
It's been a lot.
I think he had made 10 in a row. So first down and 10 for the Blue Devils at the 20, and they'll go with a running play over the right guard and pick up about 3 yards on the play. Boy, and how many times have we already seen this in the early going here, Chad, where defensively the Tigers have been holding the Blue Devil offense to 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6, 2nd and 8. That's exactly what you want.
Coach John Lovett is doing a good job in getting them in 3rd and long, 2nd and long, and that's when you can blitz. That's when you can fake the blitz, and the offensive coordinator doesn't know what you're doing.
In the handoff this time will go to Douglas, and nowhere is there running room for Chris Douglas. Again, the interior portion of that Clemson defense, and that's where your Clemson tackles come into such a big play. When they can clog up the interior of the line and cause havoc, and there are guys like Coleman on that play, and also I think in there for the Tigers was Trey Tate. You know, when those two inside tackles cause problems, that helps out the rest of the defense tremendously.
As a linebacker, you love to see D tackles who just come off the ball and draw double teams. It makes your job a lot easier.
No gain on the play, 3rd and 7, Duke at their own 23. Tigers showing blitz. They don't come with it though, they back off. Throw is incomplete, and again Miller had his hands on a ball around the 32 and couldn't quite hang on.
That was going to be a touchdown, as you see right here, in and out of his hands if he caught that ball. He might have turned around and run for the end zone. He had blockers in front of him.
Ball was thrown behind Landrum, and Miller trying to step in there and pick it off, just couldn't quite hang on to it. So 4th down and 7, Blue Devils, punting time for Duke. And Derek Hamilton will go back, stand around his own 27-yard line to receive the kick. Low line drive, poor kick that will take a Duke bounce inside the 40 and be down at the 37-yard line. And one of the Clemson players, Buddy Williams, put an absolute lick on one of the Duke players there. You got to have your head on a swivel on any of these special teams.
Tell you what, that reminds me of the Clemson teams of old, have a little nastiness to them. And Buddy Williams already made a recovery. He wants to get some more on special teams.
Watch this. Here comes Buddy Williams, and whack! He just absolutely laid out Centurio Landrum.
That's the way Coach Bowden coaches. He says that if the whistle hasn't blown, you need to go and hit somebody. And that's Buddy Williams took that to heart, and he's doing it.
So 1st down and 10, Tigers with 18 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. Clemson leading at 14-0. Tigers at their own 37. Whitehurst takes out, looks downfield, looking long, wanting Youngblood. Jump ball, almost tipped and caught by Hamilton. Wow.
Wow. That could have been a big play and not a call play going to Hamilton, but I'm sure they would have taken credit for that touchdown. So you can see here he rolls out to the left on the play action pass and just throws it deep. He's going for Youngblood down the middle. And he jumps up, tips the ball, and Hamilton almost grabs it. You see from another angle, had one hand on it. Would have been an acrobatic catch.
If he comes up with that catch, Ted Roof has to be shaking his head over on the Duke sideline. 2nd down and 10, Tigers at their own 37 with 9 seconds now left here in this first quarter. And they'll do a little inside pitch, and that'll be to Coleman, and Coleman will be close to the first down marker, and that will be the final play of the first quarter. But it's been a good 15 minutes for the Clemson Tigers here in Death Valley as they lead the Duke Blue Devils by a score of 14-0. Back with second quarter action. You are listening to CSS Valley. Justin Miller excited about the play of the Clemson Tigers in that first quarter as they lead it by a score of 14-0 as we get set to start the second quarter of play. 3rd and less than a yard for the Tigers at their ball just shy of their own 47-yard line. Winers takes off, Jasmine up the middle, first down and then some, carrying tacklers forward close to the midfield stripe.
There Jasmine goes again. Just hand it off to him. Let him bowl over him and get those 2 yards for you. That's going to be valuable in big games where you need a touchdown on the 1-yard line. And Jasmine's your go-to guy. Just look at him fighting and pulling, knocking guys off of him. That's what you want to see from a running back.
Chad now with 8 carries so far on the afternoon and 32 yards rushing. Good look there at Tommy Bowden on the sideline, exhorting his offense on. 1st down and 10 right at the midfield stripe. Whitehurst. Coleman up the gut and then will lose yard. Give credit that time to the interior portion of the Duke defense as they break through and tackle Coleman for about a yard loss. Tigers just offensively dominating things here. So far they have 8 first downs as compared to Duke's 2. Whitehurst throwing the football 9 of 11 for 115 yards and already a couple of touchdowns. Time of possession also heavily in favor of Clemson in that first quarter. Tigers held on the ball for 9 minutes and 14 seconds. Here on 2nd and 11, Coleman bounces outside 45-40, and a flag late comes in. That's probably going to be a holding call that will go against the Tigers. Coleman stepped out of bounds, or was knocked out of bounds at about the 33-yard line, and a little slow in getting up. And he's holding on to his right knee, and let's hope that's not a big problem.
Tigers don't want to see that.
No.
And on those plays where they break out into the open, it's either an extremely fast running back, or sometimes when there's no defensive players out there, you know somebody's holding on the corner. Sometimes they get away with it, sometimes they don't.
Well, we've played 16 minutes and 11 seconds of football in this game, and this is our first flag. And it will be against the Tigers. They'll mark it off from the 45-yard line to back to the Tiger 45. So Jeff Flanagan, our referee, there with the call. So ball comes back to the Tiger 45, where it'll be 2nd down and 15. Ted Roof, not only is he the head coach, he's also the defensive coordinator for this Duke club. Did a good job at Georgia Tech before he came over to Duke. What was it, last year, I guess?
He was the defensive coordinator last year. And you'll see a lot from Ted Roof. He's an aggressive linebacker mentality type coach. He's going to blitz you. He's going to put some man coverage. He's going to put all sorts of different formations on you on defense, which is tough to prepare for.
Whitehurst on 2nd and 15, drops straight back to pass. Plenty of time to throw. Throws it into coverage, though, and incomplete for Kevin Youngblood at around the 35-yard line of the Blue Devils.
That was number 23, Brian Green's the cornerback on that play. He made a great play, and as you see here, he'll just come into coverage, drop into coverage, and break on the ball.
I think the thing here that happened is that Whitehurst is going to throw that ball a little bit earlier than that. He knows where Kevin is going to be breaking to. I think he just held on to that football a little too long.
Fans don't like the call. They thought he had his hand around Youngblood, but I think it was probably a good call by the referees.
3rd and 15, Tigers at their own 45. They need to get to the Blue Devil 40 for a first down. Charlie, plenty of time, looks over in the middle, and it's incomplete for Derek Hamilton. Good coverage on the play that time by Alex Green, the safety, stepped in front of Derek, and so it'll be punting time for Clemson.
You can see on this replay, this is what Duke's been doing lately. Ted Roof defense, blitzing there with a defensive back, and Charlie has to get rid of it and throws into coverage with 2 DBs.
You know what's good to see, though, is that the Tigers aren't throwing under the first down stakes. They think they can go deep on this Duke defense, and they're throwing beyond the first down stakes. Tommy Bowden being aggressive. You can do that, though, when you're up 14-0. Kaysen on to punt the ball away and gets a good high floating kick. Fair catch made at the 18-yard line.
See Buddy Williams in there again talking on special teams. Should be a good player. I hadn't seen him play much, but he's aggressive and going in there and running downfield.
37-yard punt that time by Cole Chasen, and so first down and 10 Blue Devils at their own 18-yard line.
This is where the Clemson defense wants to be. They want to have them inside the 20, get the crowd into the game, and just go after them.
Napolito in there at quarterback at least on this play for Duke, and he's in shotgun, and he will hand it off up the gut. And again, no running room for Chris Douglas.
Big Darnell Washington again on that tackle, breaking through and knocking offensive linemen off the ball.
So the Tigers stopping that run so far by the Blue Devils.
You see Chris Douglas talking to his offensive line saying, come on guys, give me some blocks and come off the ball for me. I'll get you the yards. And they've been doing that all year.
And there's a good look at Douglas. Second down and 9 Duke at their own 19. Napolito takes a shotgun snap. This time gives it on the delay handoff. Leroy Hill there says no, sir. Douglas hardly any gain on the play.
Leroy Hill's been having a great year. Has 21 tackles for loss and has just been an outstanding linebacker. Has some people talking about 43 Keith Adams.
Well, a lot of people talking about that young man right there, Leroy Hill, possibly being the defensive player of the year in the ACC. They do credit Douglas for a yard pickup. Let's call it 3rd and 8. Duke, the ball rests right at their own 20-yard line. Shotgun snap, looking downfield, wanting Reggie Love, and he can't hang on to it. Incomplete. And I think you got to give credit that time to, is that Buddy Williams? I think came up and knocked the ball away again, Chad.
I think that was Sampson on that one. He's a whip linebacker and the heart and soul, one of the heart and soul guys of the defense. Emotional, plays hard, and was there, was covering their best receiver.
So Eric Sampson making his presence felt. 4th and 8, punting time. This will be the 3rd punt of the day by the Blue Devils, and they've been averaging just a little better than 40 yards. And that one almost partially blocked, and an awful kick off the side of the foot. And let's see where they'll mark it out of bounds. And we're still waiting to see where they are going to mark it out of bounds. No one has gotten, where were they? They're going to mark it out of the 40-yard line. Well, that's a generous spot, I think. But nevertheless, the Tigers will take over in Blue Devil territory at the 40. And Tommy Bowden, as you can see, is not happy about that at all. A 20-yard punt. Frankly, I think it was a lot worse than that.
I do too. Well, in any case, they have good field position here.
Whitehurst will hang it off to Hamilton. He'll hand it back over to Stuckey on the double reverse. And Stuckey will work his way forward to the Blue Devil 36, so he picks up 4. But Chancey Stuckey getting some playing time here in the early part of this ball game.
Yeah, it's interesting to see when you have an athlete like that, you want to get him on the field, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a throwback reverse pass type kind of thing later on.
2nd down and 6 for the Tigers at the Blue Devil 36. Whitehurst looks to the Tiger sideline. Gets the play, drops back to pass under some pressure, gets rid of it though, has it complete to Kevin Youngblood, and Youngblood steps out of bounds at the 26-yard line, but that's a pickup of 10 yards and a first down, Tigers.
Looked like they picked up a blitz on that play, and when you pick up a blitz and you have a wide receiver on that DB, one-on-one coverage, Youngblood's going to be open all day long. He just got rid of it before he got hit, Charlie Whitehurst did, and that's showing some poise in the pocket, something he's done a lot lately.
Charlie, a guy also not afraid to stand in there and take a hit when he has to. First down and 10, Clemson. Blue Devil 26-yard line, 11:20 to go here in the second quarter of play, and the Tigers leading at 14-0. Whitehurst takes out, throws, has it complete to Hamilton, who is immediately wrapped up on a very nice play.
Terrell Smith again on the tackle, safety. And you see he's all over the field. This is where the Tigers want to have Derek Hamilton. Open field, and 3 times out of 4, the DB is going to miss that tackle. But Darrell Smith just made a great play and came up and wrapped him up.
Loss of a yard in the play. 2nd down and 11 Tigers at the Blue Devil 27. Again, Charlie looking to the Clemson sideline. Coleman, the back, slotted beside him. Drops back to pass. Avoids some pressure. Throws incomplete to Hamilton. Hamilton that time trying to run with the football before he had control of it.
He wants that one back. He knew he should have had that catch. And Charlie once again made another good play under pressure. He just threw it out there, and you're going to have a guy wide open. You can pick that blitz up. Here we see him coming in, and not sure who it was on the blitz, but Charlie just got rid of it, and Derek just dropped it right there. Right next to the sidelines. He's going to get an earful from Coach Bowden, too.
Dabo Sweeney, the receiver coach, I'm sure we'll have a few words for him when he comes to the sideline. 3rd and long, 3rd and 11 Tigers at the Blue Devil 27. Whiters drops back, looks downfield, throws, wanting Grant, overthrows him at about the 8. Had him open, but just overthrew him. So that will bring on the field goal unit. And Aaron Hunt will trot out on the field. And this will be an attempt of 44 yards.
I'm sure they were practicing their snap on the field goal on the sidelines here. Let's see if they've improved it and can get it right down the middle.
So Hunt looking to extend Clemson's lead by 3. Good snap, good hold. The kick is on its way, and it is good. Plenty of leg by Aaron Hunt. The Tigers expand their lead by 3. They now lead it 17-0 over the Duke Blue Devils. 10:25 to go, 2nd quarter. Back with more on CSS. Your favorite team, from injury updates to game day preparations, with a Tommy Bowden Show tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern on CSS. Well, the 44-yard field goal by Aaron Hunt, his longest on the year, as we look at the scoring drive. 6 plays, only 13 yards. Took a minute 38 off the clock. But the Tigers now leading at 17-0.
Looks like the Duke defense is starting to stiffen up a little bit and show some of that pride they've had the last couple weeks. And Clemson's going to have to keep on coming at them to get some more touchdowns. But Duke needs to get back in the game on this drive. Their offense needs to come down the field and probably run the ball a little bit and get it going if they want to get back in the game.
Jad Dean tees it up at the 35-yard line and puts foot to leather. And this kick, returnable, short kick, taken at the 8-yard line. 20, 25, 30, flag down. So that's likely coming back. And let's see it. It will be a flag against the Blue Devils for a hold. Duke so far is Ted Roof. Take a look at him there on the Blue Devil sideline. Not happy about that. But here's your Duke drive summary so far. The first, well,
during
the
return,
call.
Holding, receiving team, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
So the half the distance to the goal will take it back to the 10-yard line. But so far, Chad, Duke's first possession ended in a punt. Then they had a fumble, then an interception, then a punt, and then a punt.
Tiger defense is playing hard, and this is what they did last week, holding Florida State to 11 yards rushing.
The 6th time that Duke has had the football here in this first half. And they have it at their own 10. Handoff Douglas. And again, hardly any running room there. A pickup of maybe a yard or 2. But Clemson just shutting down the run of the Blue Devils.
This defense is really swarming to the ball. And you can see Sampson there and Leak and the D lineman in there just swarming and collapsing on the play. There's no hole to run for Chris Douglas on that one.
I tell you, Vontrell Jamison did a good job from his defensive end spot. He stood up the tackle and turned that play back inside.
He sure did.
2nd down and 9, Blue Devils at their own 11. Shotgun snap, handoff Douglas. Douglas finds a little bit of running room as he works his way close to the 15-yard line, but it again will bring up 3rd and relatively long, 3rd and 5.
Tiger D linemen are doing a nice job getting off blocks and just collapsing that play. It was 5-on-5, I think, on that one, and they're just getting off blocks and whipping the offensive line and making tackles.
So far, the tendency for Duke offensively, Chad, in this situation has been either to throw to the tight end or go to Reggie Love. Duke so far 1 of 4 on third down conversions this afternoon. Third, and actually let's call it 6 at the Blue Devil 14. Clemson fans on their feet. Tigers come with a blitz. It's picked up. Nowhere to run, and down goes the Duke quarterback inside the 10, back at the 9-yard line. Credit the defensive secondary that time for the sack.
That was a coverage sack, it looked like, and they picked it up initially. Duke offensive line did, and they kept on coming on the D line there.
Well, Mike Schneider just nowhere to throw that football. And again, the Clemson defense there to shut it down.
Looked like Leak had the first hit on there, and he's an exciting player. I played with him, and is real aggressive, and could have a future in the NFL.
Fourth punt of the day for Trey McDonald. Punt, a little bit of a floater. Hamilton at the 50, avoids one tackle. Bounces outside, now looking to pick up blocks, and will be tackled at about the 47-yard line. 8:07 to go here, second quarter. Clemson leading the Blue Devils 17. Good look there, the Clemson faithful on the Tigers sidelines, rooting on the Tigers, who lead at 17-0. As we pick it up, Whitehurst to Yusef Kelly. Yusef breaks it across the 45 and bounces it inside to about the 44. And out comes the U's for one Yusef Kelly. First time we've seen him in a couple of games. He's had that ankle sprain.
Tell you what, Yusef Kelly's another guy like Jasmine, just has incredible leg strength, and I played against him my senior year, and he was on scout team redshirting. And tell you what, it's not a guy you want to hit, and you better bring 2 or 3 people to wrap him up.
Kelly picks up 4 on the play. Second down and 6 for the Tigers at the Blue Devil 44. Whitehurst with the eye set behind him, takes out, gives it to Kelly. Kelly straight up the gut, nothing doing. Shut down, maybe lost a half yard on that play. And it'll bring up third down. Third and actually a loss of a yard, so 3rd and 7 Tigers at the Blue Devil 45.
Be interesting to see if the Tigers can get something rolling. They've been held to 2 field goals here lately, and we're hot early, but Duke's doing a good job on defense and really shutting them down on 3rd down.
Tigers just 2 of 6, as you see there on your screen. Whitehurst takes out, play action, looks downfield, throws once and all once. Hamilton jumps for it. Did he get it? Yes, he catches it at the 6-yard line. 1st and goal, Tigers.
Another acrobatic play by Derek Hamilton. Charlie just drops back and throws it up, and he had to adjust on the run. It's tough as a DB when he throws it up like that, and Hamilton just made an incredible catch and came down with the ball. Here you see another angle. Charlie just lofting it up there, and Hamilton's just jumping up for the ball, and it's tough to stop him as a DB.
40-yard pass play, Whitehurst to Hamilton. When you've got athleticism like that, it's tough to stop.
He's the guy you do not want to cover in man coverage.
Look at that, 4 catches, 95 yards, and a couple of touchdowns for the junior here this afternoon. 1st and goal, Tigers at the 5. Play clock down to 1, and the Tigers will call timeout here. A little slow getting that play in. And so Charlie Whitehurst will trot over to the Tigers sideline and talk things over with Tommy Bowden. I want to say, by the way, Chad, while we have some time here, congratulations to Larry Penley and the Clemson golf team for the national championship that they won in golf last season. And the golf team will be going and visiting with President Bush in the coming week. And I know that's got to be a big, big thrill for not only Larry and the players. And Larry's got a type of a team that maybe could post back-to-back national championship team. He's got a lot of talent. They had a pretty good fall, and going into the springs, this coming spring season, they'll certainly be one of the teams that will be a big threat for the national championship again.
Yeah, the golf team is probably the best team on campus. We have a good football team here, but wow, they've won a national championship and are in the top 5 every year. So Larry Penley's done a great job.
Now, you can say that since you're an ex-player, but you would never say that when you were a player here.
That's right. I'm just giving them their props. You know.
Also, want to make mention that the Clemson basketball season will be tipping off on
Friday night, November 21st, is the new coach here at Clemson. Oliver Purnell will put his team on the floor against Gardner Webb at 6 o'clock, and then Jim Davis Lady Tigers will take on South Carolina immediately following the men at 8:30. So little back-to-back basketball action if you wanted at Clemson on November 21st, right before the South Carolina game. First and goal, Tigers at the 5. Whiters gives it off to Jasmine, and Jasmine trying to go left guard hole and picks up a tough yard.
Duke D-line and linebackers have really stepped it up here lately and are swarming to the ball like I've seen on film lately. And the Clemson Tigers have to come off the ball a little better. They're letting them get in the gaps and get upfield. And when you get penetration by the D-line on defense, it's really tough to run the ball.
It's a big series for that man right there, Ted Roof. Trailing at 17-0, you can ill afford to allow 7 points here. Second and goal, Tigers. Whiters fakes the handoff, looks downfield, throws, and wanted his fullback, Harrell, coming out of the backfield, but it goes incomplete. So it'll bring up third and goal. Flag down also on the goal line. We'll see what that's about.
Here you just try to slip the fullback out, and you hope the linebacker who was covering a man is gonna bite on the quarterback. But he did a good job, stayed at home, and knocked it down right there.
Illegal man downfield for the Tigers is the call here. So they'll back it back out. Let's see what Ted Roof will do here. Will he take the penalty and give the Tigers an extra play, or do you allow the play to stand and make it third and goal at the 4?
I think you back him up, but
he's declining. Just watch him. He's
ineligible receiver, downfield by the offense. The penalty is declined.
That's why I'm not a head coach.
Third and goal.
That's why he's a defensive coordinator and a head coach. He has faith in that defense, partner. Let's see if that faith is misguided, though. Third and goal, Tigers at the Blue Devil 4. Whitehurst will bring him at the line of scrimmage. Play clock already down to 8. Charlie shifts over Derek Hamilton, and he'll have to call a timeout here. So a little confusion offensively for the Tigers there. Stops the clock with 5:43 to go here in this first half of play, and Charlie and Tommy Bowden will come over to the Clemson sideline, talk things over.
I think all this confusion here is an advantage for the Duke defense because you're giving them time to rest. They're getting to recover from that drive, and they're also getting time to see what the offense was going to line up in, which is always key for the defensive coordinator, so they can match up personnel against the offense.
Well, we've seen Chancey Stuckey already a couple of times in this ball game. You mentioned that maybe sometime you think you may see where Chancey gets a pitch and maybe a little bit of option, where he has the option to throw or run it. Wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Bowden maybe go to the back pages of the playbook for something like that here.
This is a good time for it. Coach Bowden's not afraid to use a trick play or two, and it makes it exciting for the fans.
There you get a good look at the young red shirt freshman backup quarterback. Saw him play against Wake Forest, and he came in, was very impressive. 10 of 14 passing in that ball game. He is the heir apparent to Charlie Whitehurst. Problem is, you're going to have to wait a while because Charlie's got at least 2 more seasons here at Clemson.
Charlie's a thoroughbred. His father played in the NFL, and if he keeps it up and keeps improving like he is, I see him with an NFL career. He's good poise, he has a great talent, good tall, has a good arm, big hands, and it's exactly what the NFL scouts are looking for.
Of course, Charlie's dad, David, played just up the road at Furman. Went on and had a pretty solid career with the Green Bay Packers in the NFL. Whitehurst finished talking it over with Coach Bowden on the sideline. Third and goal at the 4. Sends Bayham in motion. Charlie back to throw under some pressure, delivers it. Complete in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Bayham. And Whitehurst slow to get up. He took a big shot. But Charlie now picks himself up. He took a Matt Zielinski was the guy that came in there and put the shot on Whitehurst, but a nice play to bay him in the back of the end zone.
See here, they get pressure on him, and he just stands in the pocket. The linebacker took a good shot on him. Like a mature quarterback, he stood in there, made the throw, and knew he was going to get hit, and just took it for the team.
So Charlie Whitehurst puts 6 more on the board. Hunt's extra point is up, and it is good. 5:37 to go here in the first half.
The Tigers have opened up a 24-0 lead over Duke, and you're watching it here on CSS. With a win, the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State take on the Arkansas State Indians live tomorrow night in a Sun Belt Conference matchup. Live coverage, kickoff at 7 p.m. Eastern on CSS. Don't miss it. Scoring drive by the Tigers, 6 plays, 48 yards. And there's the man that caught the touchdown pass, Curtis Bayham.
Looks like the Tigers are trying to include all the receivers in the action today. Derek Hamilton already with 2 quarterbacks and touchdowns, and Bayham getting his own now.
And why not? Kick return down across the 25-yard line by Landrum, and Landrum actually will work his way forward to the 30. So this is the best field position, I think, that Duke has started to drive from the entire first half. First down and 10 at their own 30.
With their style of offense, where they like to pound it, they like to get 5 or 6 yard carries and just come off the ball, they have to have good field position. It's tough to go 90 yards, 95 yards with that kind of offense.
Mike Schneider in there at quarterback for Ted Roof's Blue Devils. Sends 3 wide receivers left and 1 right. Douglas alone set back, gets the handoff now, gives it off on a little end around. Across the 35, and a nice play made by the Tigers. And I believe that was Khalid Vaughn.
Ty Hill looked like got on there too.
Yep.
Cornerback came in and got off a block. It's a good play call by Duke, catching the Tigers off guard a little bit, but Khalid Vaughn was hustling. You don't see many defensive ends run down a wide receiver downfield. Khalid's a fighter, and he really hustles every single play.
Sharp able to pick up 8 yards in the play for the Blue Devils. 2nd and 2. Blue Devils at their own 38. Sharp goes in motion. Schneider, though, will give it off to Douglas. Douglas will have the first down as he breaks it across the 40 to the 42. So a first down for the Blue Devils, and that's the first down they have had in quite some time.
Looks like they're getting a little rhythm here. They've caught the Tigers off guard on a reverse and now just handed it off up the middle to pick up the first down.
4:40 and counting here in this first half. Tigers leading it 24-0. 1st and 10 Blue Devils at their own 43. Schneider up under center. Again will hand it off to Douglas, and Douglas will find tough running room as he wiggles his way forward to about the 44, a pickup of maybe a couple.
In order for Duke to have some success and get back in this game, they've got to hold on to the ball and avoid interceptions. That's what's gotten them behind so far. And if they can hold on to the ball and just run it and make some good decisions, they can get back into it. But the Tigers might have something different to say about that.
2nd and 9, Blue Devils, their own 44. Schneider in shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Douglas and then gets buried in the backfield. Dewan Polk there. Also Mo Fountain in there for the Tigers. Donnell Washington, I also think there.
Duke didn't fool anybody on the defense this time. Look at here. You see 3 or 4 D linemen swarming to the ball. It's supposed to be a quarterback fake the handoff and run it upfield, a la Woody Danzler play, but the defense was not fooled on that one.
Loss of 2 on the play. Blue Devils now with only 58 yards of total offense with that 2-yard loss. 3rd and 11. Schneider looks like he's going to change the play. Tigers coming with a blitz. Under pressure, Schneider down as he is sacked.
Called a sack on that.
Yep, he was down on his knees before he got rid of the football. Back at the 34-yard line, and Schneider a little slow in getting up.
Let's see when his knees go down on this one. He had some pressure coming from the left side on a blitz and just had to step up, and he was down right before he threw it. Good call by the referees.
Washington will be credited with the sack for the Tigers. A loss of 8 more, so 4th and 19 Blue Devils. And it's punting time once again. Trey McDonald stands back around his own 20. Good snap. Good kick. Justin Miller at his 12 takes it. 15, 20, and got tackled by his own man. Justin got wrapped up by his own man there, who was Reggie Merriweather. Reggie trying to throw a block for him and just got tied up with it. Watch here. Yep.
I think he might have gotten blocked into him by one of the Duke players, but wow, that is kind of unusual.
54-yard punt that time by McDonald. And a return of 9.
How do they score that tackle on that one? Who gets that one?
I guess the closest man to the play, who was Brennan Dewan for the Blue Devils. Pitch it to Hamilton on 1st and 10. Hamilton trying to elude tacklers in the backfield. Nothing doing there. Duke saw that coming and shut it down. A big loss in the play. Back to the Tigers' 17-yard line.
Something you don't see every day. It looked like a wide receiver sweep. You had 3 lead blockers and just pitch it to Derek Hamilton and make something happen. He almost cut it back and made a play on it.
The old student body right to the wide receiver. 2nd and long, 2nd and 14 Tigers at their own 17. Whitehurst in shotgun. Looks, throws, Bayham complete. Short gain. Now he steps out of the tackle. Crosses the 30, 35. And Curtis Bayham, who was wrapped up but just refused to go down, picks up a big first down to the 36.
This is just a great play. I thought he was down. I thought he was tackled. Had 2 or 3 guys around him there and just keeps on fighting, throws them off, and breaks it down the sidelines.
How about that? Learning a little bit from Chad Jasmine, huh?
That's right. Keep your feet moving.
19-yard gain on the play by Bayham. First down and 10 Tigers at their own 36 with 1:27 on the clock. Whitehurst wanting to throw. Under pressure, steps up. Down he goes, though. Back at about the 34-yard line. Clock running. 1:15 and counting.
It was good coverage on the play by the Duke defense, and this was a coverage sack. They did have some good pressure, but Charlie had nowhere to go and just stepped up and finally got hit.
Charlie with 187 yards passing so far this afternoon. Want more, though. 2nd down and 12 Tigers. Their own 34. Whitehurst takes a snap, looks downfield. Throws, looking long, wanting Youngblood. Catches it at the Duke 33.
I'll tell you what, you love it as an offensive coordinator and a quarterback when you have these kind of receivers. Just throw the ball up on a fade like right here and let them do the work. Here you see Charlie dropping back, offensive line's blocking well. Throw the ball up, and then something good is going to happen when you have Youngblood on the other end.
These are Frisbee catching dogs, my friend. Just throw it up there, watch them go get it. 1st and 10 Tigers at the Duke 33. Clock down to 32 seconds and counting. Charlie throws, has it complete to Tony Elliott at the 25-yard line. And let's see, the Tigers will call a timeout here. They only had 1 to use, and they will burn their last one here with 22 seconds. Kevin Youngblood so far, 4 catches on the afternoon, 64 yards. We've seen Curtis Bayham get into the act. Derek Hamilton, of course, having a huge afternoon. And then we see Tony Elliott with the catch. We've seen Dwayne Coleman on the receiving end of a football. Kelvin Grant has been a target. Charlie just not locking into one wide receiver.
It makes it tough to defend. When you have a running back who can come out of there and make a catch, when you have 3 or 4 wide receivers, Curtis Bayham making some great plays, you just don't know who to expect to get the ball. And you can't man or double team to one guy because the other guys are going to burn you. And it's a great problem to have for Coach Bowden to throw to so many guys and offensive coordinators, Coach O'Kane and Coach Scott.
Now, the only guy we have not seen the football thrown to has been the tight end, either Bobby Williamson or Ben Hall. But really, there hasn't been a whole lot of need for that so far.
You might see something to them here on the red zone. Might try to take one stab at the end zone. If it's incomplete, it'll stop the clock and give them a chance to kick a field goal later if they can't get it in the end zone.
So it'll be 2nd down and 2 for the Tigers, but at the Blue Devil 25-yard line. But just 22 seconds left in this first half of play. You take a look at Tommy Bowden there on the Clemson sidelines. With his team leading at 24-0, believe me, that man not satisfied going to the locker room with a 24-point lead. He would like to see it either at 31 or 27 before all is said and done. Rushing yardage so far for the Tigers, 18 carries and 39 yards. And defensively, they've held Duke to 18 yards on 18 carries. Whitehurst takes a snap, and we must have had a little bit of movement. The backfield.
Prior to the snap, false start.
Yep. False start.
Offense.
Might
5
have been
yards.
one of those young offensive
Remain
linemen,
second
but
down.
didn't see on that play. This will back him up a little bit, make it a little tougher for a field goal. You'd like to see him stay right there and have a more reasonable shot at it. The more you back up, you might get close to out of Aaron Hunt's range.
So instead of 2nd and 2, it'll be now 2nd and 7. Second penalty of the afternoon against the Tigers. Only 15 yards in penalties against Clemson so far. Whiters takes a snap. Great protection looking downfield to throw into the end zone, and it's going to be picked off. Intending it for Tony Elliott, but it's picked off in the end zone. And coming up with the interception, I believe, was John Talley. And one of the few mistakes that we have seen Charlie Whiters make this afternoon.
When you throw it up like that to your receivers, sometimes this is going to happen. And you'd hope he'd have a step on him, but the DB just made a good play on that. Came back and made the interception.
Yeah, the big mistake there, Chad, was that the ball was thrown on the inner half of the field. That's got to be thrown to the outside portion of the field and make sure your wide receiver the only one that has a chance to catch it. That's a first career interception, by the way, for Talley. 1st and 10 at the 20. Duke will just go to a knee, and we will go to the locker room with the Tigers leading it by 24. Second game that Clemson has held an opponent scoreless in the first half. So a good offensive effort by the Tigers and an outstanding defensive effort by Clemson in this first half of play here in Death Valley. Tigers lead it 24-0 over Duke here on CSS.